Being in front of the camera is such a powerful way to connect with an audience because people can get to know you, the real you, and not just a picture, a post, or something that you've written. It's your voice, it's your facial expressions, and that's what people are going to connect with. Hey, I'm Lisa Hugo, and I am obsessed with helping other people find their voices so they can go out and take on the world, be seen as an authority, an expert, and grow their business by sharing that knowledge and expertise with others. Now, I studied performing arts, and I spent 20 years of my career traveling the world as a professional singer-songwriter. I teach you the secrets to speak up and be heard, overcome your fears, and then use these skills to build a business and a life that you love and that could change both your own life and the lives of others. This is your one-stop shop for all things that are going to help you to build a life on your terms. This is Impact Through Voice. Well, hey there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Impact Through Voice podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Hugo, and today I want to start with a question. Do you ever feel like you are just invisible? Like you're giving your best, you're pouring your heart out into your work, yet somehow it feels like nobody's noticing everything that you have to offer? Well, the first thing to understand is you are not alone. I know so many of you are feeling like this. I've felt like this. So on today's episode, I want to help you out with some solid advice and strategies to help you to go from being invisible to being visible. Now, many talented coaches, consultants, and leaders feel like they're stuck in the shadows. They desperately want to be seen, they want to be respected, they want to be heard, they want more opportunities to speak on panels, on stages, to get more clients, to help more people, to be seen and to be heard. And it can be hard, right? You've got the ideas, you've got the passion, you've got the expertise, but sometimes, in fact, often, it's like you're just shouting out into a void. But did you know what? There is a tool that you have in your pocket that you can use every single day that can be your megaphone. It can be your chance to bring your personal brand out of the shadows and into the daylight. And you want to know what it is? It's social media. Now, why? Because you have the ability to connect with an audience right there in your pocket. It's an entire audience made up of millions of people who are out there just waiting to connect with you, to learn from you, to buy from you. Now, when I was starting out in my career, there were no phones, no social media, no such opportunities. In order to be seen, we needed to be published in printed media, to get on the radio, to get guest appearances on TV. It was so much harder. We couldn't just pick up our phone and record from a venue or in the moment and connect with an audience of avid listeners. It was so much harder to be seen. But now we have so many platforms to grow our visibility and our personal brand. You've got YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, and then there are blogging sites and Medium and Quora, so many opportunities to have a voice. And there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who will be genuinely interested in what you have to offer, and they're waiting to hear from you. Now, I fully understand some of the things which could be holding you back. Now, one of those biggest things is fear. What if you're judged? What if I'm not good enough yet? What if I get negative comments on my posts? Well, please understand. I fully get it. I'm actually sharing this today, not just for you, but because I also need that boost of confidence, that push, and that accountability to up my game and stop shying away from putting myself out there more and more. The path to being recognized has to start somewhere. The joy of people resonating with what you share is really quite a thrill. It's quite exciting. It's like nothing else. So on today's podcast, I'm going to be covering how to get out there and feel at ease with posting on social. I'm going to share real ways to connect with others. I'm going to demonstrate the power of video to really stand out. I'm going to talk about paid ads and how they can help you to grow, and how to keep it consistent without the whole stress of showing up on social media. All right? So let's go step by step to build your personal brand and build it effectively. Now, the very first step is to get comfortable in being visible. I mean, have you ever noticed how the most impactful voices aren't always the loudest voices? They're just sincere, they're real, they're constant in the way they show up. Getting comfortable with being visible starts with just one simple thought. So I want you to imagine you are speaking to just one person. Don't think of the entire internet of thousands of people being behind your camera, but just think about one person. Imagine that person and how your advice, your story, your experience can help them. Start small. You don't have to be present on every single platform. Just choose the platform that you resonate with the most and where you think you can offer the most value to. For example, if you're speaking to executives and leaders, you might find LinkedIn or X will be the better platform to share your message and reach your target audience. But if you're a coach, you'll probably do really well on YouTube because people are searching there for the solution that you can offer. If you want to build your personal brand with short form content, then Instagram and TikTok are fantastic. But the first thing is there is no right or wrong. There are different ways to grow your personal brand, and I'm going to put a strong emphasis today on using voice and video. But there are other ways to share through blogs, articles, posts that don't mean you have to show up on camera. The most important thing is that you get started and you put yourself out there. Post a simple insight or a story on your favorite platform. Think about what one person might find useful. Describe simple things related to what happened today. What are you doing in your work, or what did you get up to in your day? Instead of thinking about it as putting yourself out there, think of it as documenting your journey. This is a journey that could help or inspire other people. In fact, if you can help just one person, wouldn't that be worth it? Regularly sharing your thoughts makes showing up feel, let's say, less awkward. And the more you do it, the more comfortable it's going to get over time. Okay, step number 2 is how to be real and how to be authentic. You have to be yourself. You have to be natural. People can smell insincerity and fake from miles away. So what's the one thing that could truly set you apart? I like to think of it as being real stories, real emotions. And if I think about it, the people that I tend to follow on social media are the people that show up as real people. They're sharing not just the perfect moments in life, but they're also sharing the moments when things aren't so perfect, aren't going so well. Being genuine is going to win you more genuine followers, and it's going to help you to grow a community rather than pretending to be something that you think your audience wants to see and hear. Whatever you do, don't try to copy other people out there. Don't be worried about your competition. Make sure that you do you. You are uniquely you. No one else can show up the way that you show up. And people will connect with you because you are you. So when you have something that goes really well in your day, then share the excitement of that. And when things don't go so well, then share the lessons that you've learned. Make sure that you engage with people, encourage people to comment and have conversations, reply to people who reach out on those comments and in the DMs, because ignoring people is, well, it's just plain rude. Unless, of course, it's obviously somebody who's spamming you or they're trolling you, then, of course, you don't want to be responding to people like that. Another great idea is to share other people's ideas. So if you see a post which you really resonate with, you could collaborate on that post and then share that out to your audience with yourself and your own perspective on it. And that helps to also build community. Okay, I'm going to move now into making an impact with videos. The power of video is unsurpassed. Being in front of the camera is such a powerful way to connect with an audience because people can get to know you, the real you, and not just a picture, a post, or something that you've written. It's your voice, it's your facial expressions, and that's what people are going to connect with. How you speak, the passion that you have, the enthusiasm, and the authenticity that you show up with. Now, I know many of you shy away from being in front of the camera. It doesn't come naturally to you, but just as I've said earlier, you have to start somewhere. Start imperfectly. There is no perfect anyway. We are always on a journey to improve ourselves. And when I go back and I watch some of the videos I recorded 5 years ago, 4 years ago, even, I don't know, last year, I cringe. I was definitely not as relaxed on camera then as I am now. But I got started. I put content out there. People resonated with it. People still resonate with it. And these videos are, for me, an indication of just how far I've come. When I started, I was never comfortable to go in front of the camera. Even though I have a whole background in performing arts and being out on stages, camera was a whole different ballgame. And even today, I'm going to say I find it a strain to show up consistently on camera. But I see the value in sharing the value that I have to give with others. And then you see the comments and you see the feedbacks, you see the connections that you make and the people I get to work with. And that's what makes it all worthwhile. Your videos don't need to be Hollywood perfect. You don't need to buy expensive equipment. We all have a high-end camera in our pockets nowadays, right? Even the microphone is now pretty impressive on those latest iPhones. And with AI editing software, you can clean up the sound and make your videos look and sound incredibly impressive with minimal effort. So pull out that phone and start using it to create content for others and not just create content for yourself or for your family. Now, for those of you who want to get started, and if you're still saying, no, it's not for me, please, you need to rethink. Keep listening to this episode. I've got a few tips for you to, let's say, dip your toes in. Start with short tips or short insights related to what you do. For example, here are my 3 top tips to lose belly fat fast. Or here are 3 techniques that you can use to make your voice stronger. And then you go into those 3 tips. And that's it. And you can do that in 60 seconds. Ideally, you want to keep it under 90 seconds because that's the maximum length at the time of recording this that you can do in a reel. And reels are what will help you to go viral. So you want to make sure that your posts, when they're in video format on short form platforms, are going to stick to the 60 to 90 or under 60 seconds ideally, or maximum 90 seconds. Here's another example. You could do shout outs and quick thank yous to your followers for hanging around with you. You can do challenges and your lessons learned along the way. Another tip is to try using ChatGPT to help you out with ideas. Remember, feeling overwhelmed is completely normal and it happens all the time. The key is to set small goals. And don't forget, everybody starts somewhere. The most important thing is that you get started. Okay, next I want to talk about the magic of paid ads and how they can give you that extra push to grow. Okay, I'm going to go into point number 4. I want to talk about amplifying your reach using paid ads. Now, there are many different reasons that you would want to use paid ads, and there are many different types of paid ads. So in this episode, I'm going to only talk about 2 kinds of ads. The first being the ads that you run from an ad account to a specific landing page to get an opt-in and grab an email address. You could be offering something for free, like a downloadable guide, which is what we call a lead magnet, or an invite to a free training, or to buy something from you, something paid. Or you could be offering them to join a paid training. Now, these ads, when they're set up correctly, are highly targeted, and you can then track all of the results if you set them up correctly. So you know what's working and you know where you're getting your conversions in from. So you can add more money into those ads that are working and get a really great return on your investment. Other types of ads that you might want to run are boost posts. So I'm going to start talking about ads. Now, are you listening to this thinking, Lisa, this sounds all great, but I'm posting regularly already, or I'm just not getting the engagement. I don't feel my content is getting in front of the right people. I feel like I'm speaking to thin air. So that's where paid ads can be hugely beneficial. They help to put more of the right people in front of you, so more people see your content. So why should you consider paid ads? Because sometimes organic reach alone isn't going to be enough. Organic reach can be slow, and you have to be extremely consistent in putting your content out there every single day, even multiple times a day. So by putting some money in and boosting your post, you can reach more of the right people. You can get more followers, more engagement, more likes from people who are genuinely interested. Now, I have to say a word of warning. Please don't go and pay for followers just to increase your number of followers. Now, I get messages every single day from people who are offering to grow my followers by 10K in 30 days. It's not worth it. And aside from risking losing your account, you don't want a list of people who are not going to be remotely interested in the value that you're offering on your followers list. You want quality people on your list, not quantity. Now, aside from boosting posts to increase your engagement and your followers, there are highly targeted ads that I mentioned earlier that you can run to get people to sign up for something away from your social platform. These ads are generally going to be more expensive because you're redirecting your traffic away from that social platform that you're using. For example, Meta, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, they don't like that you take people off the platform. So because of that, you have to then pay more for your ads. Now, if you've been around my world for any length of time, you're going to know I am a huge fan of using YouTube in-stream video ads. And the reason for this is they are highly targeted to your ideal audience. And you can show up to them in the moment that they are searching for exactly what you can help them with. Now, if you want some more insight into this, go and listen to episode 46, where I share my winning ad script formula, and I also offer it for you to download. And if you're interested to learn how you can run YouTube ads effectively, I've got an entire course teaching you everything that you need to know to set up, run, and optimize YouTube ads. All you need to do to get a hold of that is to reach out to me, and I'll share all the information. But I want to share here a few key points to focus on when you're running any ads. The first one is to understand what your goal is. Are you looking for more followers, more engagement? Make sure that you are clear on that before you get started. Second one is, who is your target audience? Most platforms are going to let you choose who sees your ads. So make sure you're clear on the demographics of your audience, their age, their gender, their ethnicity, their income bracket, all of these things, depending on the platform, you can target. What are their interests? Where are they located? What are their pain points? What are their desired outcomes? And then test different types of ad. Try different ads. Try some pictures. Try video ads. Try carousel ads. Mix up text, image, and video. And that way you're going to be able to reach more potential customers, potential followers who are genuinely interested in you and what you have to offer. Remember, I've already said this, I'm going to say it again, start small. Don't think you need to have a huge budget to get started with paid ads. Set the budget that really makes sense for you, and then watch for feedback on what is working best. And once you're getting a return on your investment, well, that's when you can start to invest more. Remember, just a little bit of cash can go a long way to grow your visibility. Okay, step number 5. Consistency is going to be your best friend. Have you ever started something with loads of enthusiasm only to see that it starts to fizzle out after a week or two? I personally have. And I'm going to be honest, when it comes to social posting, it happens to me all the time. I have a love-hate relationship with posting on social media, even though I know how important it is. And as I said, I am creating this today to give myself that boost and momentum that this is what we all need to do. So I have been in your shoes and I fully understand where you are. But I have to say, and I've heard this over and over again from people who I work with in my community, and I see it. Staying consistent is going to build momentum, it's going to build trust, it's going to build on your engagement, on your followers, and it's just a compound effect. And being consistent says to your audience, hey, I'm here and I am committed. So here's how you can ease into it. The best thing is to create a simple schedule. Plan out your week, plan out your month. Decide when and how often you're going to post. Now, I've said this already. Ideally, you want to be posting daily, even 2 to 3 times a day if you're on a mission to become visible. And if you can't manage posting that often, and I know not everybody can, then focus on every few days or weekly. But whatever you do, make sure that you are consistent, that you build a routine that's going to work for you. And don't be afraid to use tools. There are tools out there. There's Creator Suite from Meta, which is a free tool to schedule your content for the month. There are other tools like Buffer or Hootsuite that allow you to plan and schedule your posts ahead of time. And with those platforms, you can post to multiple different platforms all at once. And you also get the engagement coming through, and you can manage everything just from one platform. They're going to save you time, and they're going to keep your content rolling even on your busiest days. There are also tools out there like Captions.ai, which can create and edit AI-generated videos for you. Or there's CapCut, which has amazing features to make your videos interesting and engaging. In fact, there are so many new AI platforms out there. You just have to go and do your research and find what might be good for you. And there are incredible offers at the moment with new platforms coming onto the market where you can get lifetime deals. So do some research and then make sure you mix it up using different formats. Posting a story one day, a post another day, a video another day. Going live is incredibly good to get momentum and reach new people. Make sure you keep things fresh and you're constantly engaging with your audience. Now, I know there's going to be setbacks. I face them all the time, and you're going to face them. One of the big ones is, I'm out of ideas. I don't know what to talk about. So here's a tip that I have and I utilize. I like to save interesting posts that come up in my feed, and I save them into different categories into a library for inspiration. I have an entire library of content that I can refer to that will give me inspiration for new posts if I'm out of ideas. I watch what other people in the industry are putting out there. I watch what's engaging and what I could take from this and then make it authentic to my style. I'm not copying. I'm not replicating. I'm just using this as a way of getting inspiration to fuel my own ideas and my own post. You can also repurpose content that you've used somewhere else. For example, if you've written a blog, take elements from that blog and then turn them into a social media post or an article for LinkedIn or vice versa. If you run a webinar, within that 30 to 40 minute presentation, you're going to find so much content that you could break down into bite-sized pieces of information, and you can use that then on social media. If you have a podcast, well, you have a ton of value within that podcast that you can break down and post as small microform content. Another idea is to keep a running list of ideas or related industry news. You can pull from your own personal real-life experiences, questions that your clients ask you, or even lessons that you've learned along the way and the setbacks that you've had. Other people can learn from that. So for the final part of this episode, I want to explore how you can maintain engagement and how you can balance the personal touch with professionalism. step number 6, how to maintain engagement and make sure that you stay real. So you've started posting, you're using videos, and you might have even tried some paid ads. But how do you keep people interested? Engagement is about more than that initial like or the follow. You want to get conversations sparked. So here's how you can keep the chat going in your posts. Ask questions when you post something. Try asking something that's going to prompt your audience to share their thoughts, their opinions, their ideas. Start a series, a regular feature like every Monday you have Monday Motivation. And that keeps people coming back because they're interested to know what you're going to share again on next Monday. You can share user-generated content. So highlight the comments that people leave in your posts. Create polls for people to interact with you. Showcase your followers' success stories or your client success stories. Now, here's a few challenges that you need to look out for. Not all feedback is going to be positive. And I know a lot of you are afraid to put yourself out there because you're afraid to get that negative feedback. But remember, with the positive is going to come the negative. You can't please everybody. And there's going to be people out there who are just envious or just out there to tear people down. And that's a part of playing the game. You're going to have to learn to toughen up to any comments like that and just completely ignore them and focus on all the positive comments that you are getting. And every comment is a chance to engage or to learn also from what you're putting out there. If things get tough, just keep focused on the bigger picture. Remember to get real connections over building your following with bots and uninterested profiles. Make sure you keep it professional, but you also add an element of personal. And make sure you let people know it's really you who is behind that screen. As much as I know AI can generate content for us, I still think that people know if something is fake. AI can't connect with emotion. There is only one you. I've said this already. Only you can speak the way you speak. And as much as you can clone yourself, you can clone your voice, I still don't think you can clone that emotional connection. Okay, the last point number 7, is how to blend that personal side of you with the professional. I mean, being genuine and being out there doesn't mean that you have to overshare your entire life. You have to find a balance. So what are some tips that I can give you to blend the real you and your personal life with that professional image that you want to display? The first thing is to share stories that are going to be inspirational. It might be a success story. It might be a tough lesson that you've learned, but stories create connection and people can relate to them and they are more sticky. People remember them more. So don't be afraid to share stories from your own personal experience. Share some behind the scenes. Give people a peek into your everyday, your work process behind the camera, what you do, how you work with clients, and also your everyday life personally. What's your routine? And people can be inspired by that, or they're just genuinely interested to know who is the person behind the camera. And make sure that you set some boundaries. Make sure you decide in advance what parts of your life you're comfortable to share and what parts you're not. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to share with you some final words of wisdom. Remember that you're not just building your personal brand, you're building trust in people, and trust then leads to deeper connections and leads to more clients and more revenue. Research shows that 90% of people prefer well-known brands. So if you're not out there, then you're going to be missing out on opportunity. Being visible makes you more approachable. Be consistent and don't be afraid to utilize your voice. Now, if you believe in what you're offering, your audience is going to believe in it too. So, my friends, It's time to start stepping out of the shadows and into your spotlight. Social media can bring your personal brand to life. It can allow you to share your expertise and your passion with the world. So, are you ready to be seen and heard? Well, I hope you're all shouting, yes, absolutely, from wherever it is that you're listening to this episode. Start implementing these strategies. You're not just going to find an audience, but you're going to build a tribe. You're going to build a community of people who genuinely are interested and care about you. If you're looking for some guidance or a boost in your confidence, please reach out to me. Let's go out there. Let's harness your voice. Let's open up more doors and more opportunities. Just believe in yourself, stay engaged, be consistent, and grow your personal brand to new record heights. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found this incredibly valuable, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Impact Through Voice podcast. Now, if you've reached the end of this episode, then it means you're enjoying the podcast. So I have a quick favor to ask. If you haven't yet subscribed, please go and do it now and even leave us a review, because it really does help us so much to reach more people and impact more people. And I would be very, very grateful. Now, I love to read all of your comments about the show and what you're enjoying, what you would like to hear more of. So please take the time and go and do that now. When you do that, please take a screenshot and then tag me on Facebook or Instagram. That's Lisa Hugo Official. Now, I'm going to be sure to share your post, and I'm also going to private DM you with a thank you. And it also means you won't miss an episode. And as a subscriber, then you're going to get access to more content that we don't even open up to everybody. So thanks again. And until next time, keep on working towards your goals and making a positive impact on the world with your voice.